What began as just a small vision, now 25 years later, a national showcase here at the Cattlemen's Classic.
25 years still going strong, much more obviously than cattle shows and cattle sales, and FFA kids out here, elementary school kids out here, and community members out here learning about the beef industry.
And people we talk to say this is definitely something for Nebraska to be proud of. Get ready for NTV's Grow. Of course, we'll have a lot more on coverage out here at the Classic in a moment.
But first, some egg headlines, and there's a drop in farms and ranches here in the state. The USDA reports a decline of about 4,000 to a total of more than 48,000 farms and ranches in Nebraska, with the number of small farms with less than $100,000 in revenue declined 500. Large farms, though, increased by 1,000.
A similar story in Kansas. The National Ag Statistics Service said the state had just over 60,000 farms last year, down by 600 compared to the previous year. Farms with less than $100,000 in revenue decreased by 800, larger farms up by 200. Kansas has 46 million acres of land in farms and ranches.
Also, at the same time, farm income is down, but as we hear from so many of you, taxes are still high.
State lawmakers say that is what's driving them to look for ways to provide property tax relief. Taxes on farmland have risen sharply in the last decade as land prices skyrocketed when corn prices were at record levels.
Well, the problem is those values are still up there, but commodity prices are not where they need to be. A big jump in commodity prices would make a lot of people happy and make the job of the legislature a lot easier. I don't think we're expecting to see that happen, at least through the remainder of my term, which is the end of this year.
Senator Glore has a bill that's aimed at keeping the taxable value of farmland from rising much more. The bill has the backing of the governor and is expected to be debated by the full legislature.
A cattle expert with ties here to central Nebraska, he's among the finalists to lead the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Ronnie Green has overseen agriculture programs during a time of tremendous growth for the university, with enrollment gains and more faculty in those areas. Green, one of 4 finalists to replace outgoing UNL Chancellor Harvey Perlman. The others include the number 2 administrator at Oregon State, plus the senior vice president at Kansas State, and the head of research and economic development at the University of Iowa. Also champions named here at the Cattlemen's Classic. And for these families, especially the young people, what a great opportunity it is to show cattle, and a lot of work, a lot of prep goes into this.
Absolutely. It's a chance to learn about sportsmanship, showmanship, learn life skills as well, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes. Here's a look at one family as they prepare to show in the Classic.
He's my steer, getting him ready for the fair. He'll always lick you, no matter what.
Buddy. It starts with reaching out a hand, sitting in the pen for hours, talking and making a connection.
I just hanging out with them, and then soon enough they come over to us and they start coming tame.
And personalities start shining through as the months go by.
That's what we like, kind of a big old baby.
He's got a nice personality.
Well, Bear, the steer, has to learn cues to lead.
Show her how you set him up.
Yeah. And Kaylin learns to stand her ground.
You have to show them that you're in charge of them, because if you don't show them that soon enough, they can just push you around and stuff.
A few bumps and bruises can be expected.
So you have to be careful.
But eventually, with consistent work, Kaylin will be able to take Bear into the ring, set him up, and present him to the judge.
Good opportunity to show her how to work and how to be responsible and enjoy things and show what you've done.
In order to get to this point, Kaylin never gives up. Bear may go another way, but then she puts frustration aside and figures out how to steer him right. She finds her confidence, works each day, makes each moment count.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it's shown her that she has to go out and actually work with them and be around to do it and not just tell somebody else to go out and do it for her.
Bear gets a haircut and shower, and now Caitlin's ready to take on the Classic.
It's hard, but once you get done with it and you have really nice cows, it's worth it.
And of course, out here at the Classic as well, a lot of young people went through and learned a lot about the cattle industry.
You know, some of us maybe take it for granted that we know the difference between beef cattle and dairy cattle, but to a third grader, A cow's a cow. Here's a look through the eyes of a tour guide taking third graders here through the classic.
So we're going to walk around the whole grounds, all the booths. We'll go in the cattle stalls so you guys will get a look at them.
Third graders here from Meadowlark Elementary School.
All right, guys, just getting them around a cattle event or agriculture in general. A lot of these kids maybe haven't seen a bull or a heifer or a calf before, and they're so excited to be here, and just talking to them about the steaks you eat, nail polish, footballs. You know, there's other things that come from cattle besides a steak or a hamburger. Raise your hand if you guys know what this is behind me. John Deere tractor. What are tractors used for? What do you think?
To move stuff?
Exactly. So tractors are huge for cattlemen to hay their cattle, feed their cattle. How about you?
Milk the cows?
And the difference between a milk cow and a beef cow is there's not a big difference to them, and they don't realize that all the cattle here don't have milk and we don't drink milk from them. And so I think that's the biggest thing that out here we learn. So when you guys get snow days in school and you don't have to leave your house, well, cattlemen still have to get outside their house and get on the roads to feed their cattle. But there's so many different myths and things that these kids believe, and so just getting them the experience to know the truth from those myths.
Marylyn, this event, Cattlemen's Classic, started 25 years ago as a local show and really now national prominence, and it continues to grow.
It does, and it does not miss out on that down-home appeal. Here is a guy who has been in that show ring every year, starting 25 years ago. Meet Stan from Plymouth.
25 years ago, I was a lot younger than I am now.
25 years ago, Stan entered the ring at the very first Cattlemen's Classic and hasn't missed a single show since.
You know, they showed a lot of vision. It's developed into a big family week event.
The whole family pitches in to help, feeding, washing, and training to lead.
There's quite a bit of work, but it's the kind of thing, if you enjoy your work, then you don't mind doing it.
And Stan doesn't let his age hold him back one bit.
If you don't do some of the work yourself, I don't feel you really appreciate what's being accomplished.
His biggest accomplishment, having the highest selling bull a couple of years.
That really is special for us. You know, this is a very competitive show, and there's a lot of good cattle here, so to have a top-selling animal is just really, you feel really good about that.
At least for the Hereford show at the Cattlemen's Classic, if you walk down this aisle of competitors, they've even got a label for themselves.
Next to us here is the Moeller Farm from Grand Island. They've been here many years. We've been here. Over to our left is Joe Brockman. He's been here for many years, so we're the old-timers.
The old-timers pass down wisdom, generation to generation. Besides putting in the hard work, it's also all about investment.
I'll take one. Get another now one. Sold him in $3,000. Got him $3,000.
Buy the very best breeding stock you can, because it'll pay off many times down the road.
He's a cash flow son.
I know sometimes the price might seem a little bit high, but this is the kind of an investment that'll develop a big return.
25. Here we go, 750.
A return you can find at the Cattlemen's Classic.
Certainly a family environment anytime you're around the livestock ring, but also girl power on display here as well.
You better believe it. The ladies here, they work side by side with the guys out here in the ag industry, especially in the cattle business. And one cowgirl, she has some advice for all of you out there.
I'm the only girl in the competition today.
She may be the only girl in the ring at Cattlemen's Classic, but in a male-dominated industry, Sarah isn't intimidated.
If you want to be a cowgirl, then go be a cowgirl.
Sarah is an inspiration, saying girls can look up to her as a woman doing what she just loves to do.
Women just got to go out there and do what they love too, and no matter if it's a guy industry or not, you just do what you love.
She's a part of women's ranch rodeos, shows horses, and works on a ranch. And all that work doesn't go unnoticed.
And the young lady's been a good cowgirl. She works in the feedlots at the ranches and helps them do everyday working type stuff. So it's not anything out of the everyday life for her.
Sarah is proof. She can cowgirl up, and you can do what you love, too.
Yes, I would encourage young girls to do it. And if you have a passion for horses and a passion for riding your horse, try it. It's amazing, rewarding.
As we mentioned, of course, FFA students came out here for a full day. There were over 300, I believe, of them out here, and they got a special treat as well.
A couple of FFA alumni now known to millions of viewers on YouTube, the Peterson Farm Brothers. We will hear from them right ahead.
This being here for 25 years, it's pretty amazing.
I remember coming here when I was really little.
What's your favorite bull or cow?
The little people get out as well as the big people get out as well, and we all are like family showing cattle together, selling cattle.
It really explains how important agriculture is to Nebraska.
Great thing to get the adult breeders connected with the youth.
It's been really enjoyable, but what is really special for me is that now my sons and my grandkids are involved with it.